The choice between marriage and singledom is a decision, a very serious decision that can shape your life forever, that can change your life forever. Married versus single, which is better? In today's episode, I'm going to be comparing the life of the married to that of the single to know which is better. So my question first of all goes to you guys. Married versus single, which is better? But of course, before I dive in what I have to say about the married and the single, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. I want to also use this opportunity to appreciate all my subscribers, all those that have been commenting on my videos. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. I especially want to appreciate Ikeze Sorochi for all her likes and comments on my videos. I also want to appreciate at Mechi Obi 5000 for all his comments and likes on my video. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Ikeze Sorochi. Thank you so much, ma, for always being active on my channel. Thank you so much, guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Married versus single, which is better? First comparison, stability versus freedom. A married person, be it man or woman, has stability through shared goals and responsibilities. But a single person, be it a male or female, has the freedom, total freedom to make his or her own choice in any way and at any time. So the decisions they make lies in their own hands. However they choose to make those decisions, it is their choice. So the life of the single and life of the married is not the same when it comes to decision making. Married versus single, shared life versus alone time. The life of a married person is more like filled with constant companionship. Yes, and this can be sometimes comforting and sometimes it can be a lot. But the life of the single, their time is all to themselves. They have time for themselves, have time for their hobbies, have time for solitude, anything they choose to, have time for their career, more time than the married. Yes, they do. So anything they choose to do with their time depends on them, is their decision. So the life of the married and the life of the single is indeed not the same, especially when it comes to having time for each other. The life of the married is always shared with the partner, but the life of the single, you have it all to yourself and you do with your time whatever you wish to do with it. Married versus single, shared expenses versus financial independence. In the life of the married, it is two incomes, but shared bills, shared family planning, shared responsibilities, everything is shared. And everything concerning your finances is shared. Responsibilities in the home, they are shared. But in the life of the single, you have full control over your money. You spend your money on anything that you like. However you wish to spend the money, that is how you spend the money. So the life of the married and the life of the single is not the same when it comes to spending your money. Married versus single, planning versus spontaneity. A single person can just wake up one morning and just make any decision without asking anybody anything, without taking advice from anybody. Just make decision however and whenever you like. But once you're married, every decision involves a discussion, of course, with your partner. So it is not, the decision making process is not the same with that of the single. Married versus single, partnership growth versus self-discovery. Single people, they focus more on personal growth. Year in, year out of their lives is just on personal growth in various areas of their life. But it's not the same for the married. Married people, they grow through compromise, communication, teamwork. Whatever they do, they always involve their partner. Their own is partnership growth. Married versus single, emotional security versus emotional freedom. As a single person, you have the freedom, the emotional freedom to flirt, to go out on dates, to explore, to meet people, have a close relationship with people, explore in various areas. You can go out on dates as much as you like as a single person. But once you're married, You focus on your partner. You focus on building a deep emotional connection with just one person, which is your partner that you're already married to. Married versus single. Built-in family versus no in-laws. As a single person, you don't have anything connecting you to anyone else's family. It is just your own family. Yes, you don't have any connection or any law binding you with someone else's family, which is marriage. Nothing like that. You have just your family. You just have your life all to yourself. But once you're married, it's not the same. You have another family added to your own family by law. You understand? So now it is for better, for worse. Married versus single. Relationship fatigue versus loneliness risk. If you're single, you are at the risk of feeling lonely. If you're married, you are at the risk of feeling emotionally exhausted from time to time without space. So whichever decision you make is a risk. In fact, life is a risk. Everything about life is a risk. So whether you choose to be single or married, there is a risk. Risk is involved. So you are either at the risk of being lonely or the risk of being emotionally exhausted from time to time. Married versus single. Balance needed versus career first. A married person needs to learn or already has the ability to balance marriage with work, to balance marriage with career. That is the key. It is very important to them. Now, for a single person, they have the freedom, the decision to focus on their career first, focus on their passion first, without answering to anybody, without having the need to balance anything with anything. They have that time to focus on their career and their passion fully. Married versus single. Shared burdens versus fewer responsibilities. Yeah, your life, your mess, your responsibilities, everything is on you. But that of marriage is not the same. Everything is shared. The burdens are shared, chores are shared, bills are shared, everything, emotional baggage, everything is shared once you're married. Married versus single. Long-term investment versus dating drama. Marriage is a long-term investment. So once you're married, you should know and understand that you have to be committed to the long-term relationship work. But as a single person, you experience that the highs and lows of dating, all that dating drama. That is what single people experience. Married versus single. Laughter and chaos versus peace and quietness. As a married person, you need to understand that marriage comes with its own package. Marriage is not a periphrasis. I'm sure the married ones already know. There is time for everything. It's time for laughter, for love. There's also time for misunderstandings, for fights, all in one package, the marriage package. But once you're single, if you're single, there is this peace and quietness that you enjoy alone in your house. Married versus single. Rooted in place versus freedom to move. A single person can just wake up one morning and decide that he or she wants to go on a trip, on a vacation, or he just wants to relocate without asking anybody anything, without having any agreement with anybody. It is your choice. You have that freedom to move at any time. But once you're married, even if you have the thoughts that maybe you want to go on a vacation or you want to relocate, you have to first of all discuss it with your partner, then have a mutual agreement before you can do it. So it is not the same for the married and the single. Married versus single. Steady social life versus fluctuating friend circle. Yes, most single people, they just have friends that come and go more often. They have fluctuating friendship circle. But in the life of the single people, they usually have a social circle that is more stable. Yes, and it's usually couple based. Most couples make friends with their fellow couples, that kind of thing. And that kind of friendship, not all, but most of them are more stable than friendship between single people. Married versus single. Shared bed versus sleep how you want. As a married person, you share bed, you share blankets, you snore together, you sleep together, everything you do together. But as a single person, you have the whole bed all to yourself. You enjoy your sleep alone. Married versus single. Commitment confidence versus dating uncertainty. For the married people, because now that you're married, you have that commitment confidence that because you're now married to one person that you have chosen to be with, for better, for worse, forever, for life, you're with that person. But for the singles, it's not the same thing. You have that dating uncertainty. Yes, because you don't know who is the right person. You're dating someone quite alright as a single person, but you're not even sure that person is your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, as the case may be. But it's not the same for the married. Once you're married, you already know for you to even make that decision to be married means you have chosen that person to be your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, however the case may be. Married versus single. Accountability partner versus no one to report to. As a married man, as a married woman, you're accountable to your partner and your partner is accountable to you. But in your life, in your health, in your habits, in your career, everything about you, you're accountable to your partner and your partner is accountable to you. But as a single person, you answer to no one. Married versus single. High intimacy and low freedom versus low intimacy and high freedom. It is self-explanatory. And finally, for today's episode, married versus single, focused on us versus focused on self. As a married person, it's all about us, you and your partner, not just me, not just you alone. But as a single person, you are the center of your own world. It is all about you. So that is all for today's episode. Today's episode was just all about making a healthy comparison between the single and the married. I'm not here to answer whether the single is better than the married or the married is better than the single. There are people that are single, they are happy, they're successful, they are enjoying their life, and they're not even bothered about being married or not. There are people that are married, they are happy, they're successful, they are enjoying their family, and that is the way they want it. So it is a choice. Whatever one you choose, whether to be single or to be married, it is your own decision. So you shouldn't make that decision because other people want. You shouldn't get married because other people are getting married. You shouldn't be single because your friend is single. Make your own decision based on what you want. Because there are people that are single hoping to be married one day, and there are people that are married hoping to be single one day. So you see, this life, everything is all about risk. Everybody's life is not the same. So please, whatever decision you make sure you're making the right one. Make sure you're making that decision because you want to make that decision. So the main thing is all about making the right decision. So there is no such thing as the married being better than the single or the single being better than the married. These things is just a decision that you have to make. No one else should make it for you. You should make that decision yourself, because whichever decision you make will shape your life forever. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Thank you so much for listening. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. And to all those that have been subscribing, liking and commenting, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. See you in my next episode.